Now we are seeing about the silk reeling part 1. Introduction. The harvested cocoons are used for reeling the silk thread from them. This part of it does not come strictly under sericulture. However, reeling can also be done as a cottage industry, and often the sericulturalist himself may also have reeling units and use his cocoon crop there. Hence, a knowledge of sericulture is incomplete without knowing about reeling. The continuous silk wave of the cocoon contains two distinct filaments or brins, each produced by a gland. These brins are glued together by sericin. The length of the wave in a single cocoon varies from 350 to 600 meter in multivoltines and about 1500 meter in univoltines. The denier of the wave indicating its thickness also varies from 1.8 to 3 deniers. The operation of unwinding of the wave from the cocoon is called reeling. In this process, the cementing sericin is dissolved in hot water and the fibroin is unwound and reeled on the reeling frames. The reeling process includes the following steps: cocoon drying or stifling and storage, shorting of cocoons, deflossing by cocoon boiling and brushing, reeling proper, re-reeling and finishing. In this first part, we are seeing about only the first three steps. Stifling or drying of cocoons. The object of this process is to kill the pupa inside the cocoon. Otherwise, the pupa will continue to develop and the moth will emerge by breaking the cocoon. This will split the continuous thread of the cocoon, which will thus become unreelable. Stifling is carried out by different methods. Sometimes, as in the country chakra of India, stifling is done at the same time as reeling. The reeling basin itself is filled with hot water and is used for stifling. Methods of stifling. Sun drying. This consists of killing or drying the pupae by prolonged exposure of freshly harvested cocoons to the scorching hot sun. The cocoons thus treated are very light and make a rattling sound when shaken, indicating that the pupa has been killed. Advantages of these methods are: these cocoons may be preserved for any length of time without fear of moth emergence or their deterioration. It is simple and cheap. Disadvantage of this method is that the cocoons are not suitable for modern reeling. This method can be used only when bright sunlight is available for many days following harvesting. As silk is sensitive to sunlight, the strength of the wave is affected. Steam stifling. This is the most common method followed in India. Fresh cocoons are exposed to the direct action of a very hot, wet steam for the required period. If the quantity of cocoons are small, it is done in small containers, otherwise in special chambers. Based on cocoon quantity, the different methods are followed. First one is basket streaming. 10 to 15 kg of fresh cocoons are loosely filled in a bamboo basket, sides closely woven, but bottom loosely woven. A thick wet cloth is tightly stretched over the top of the basket and tied at the sides, leaving the bottom free. This basket is placed over the mouth of the vessel in which water is boiled. Steaming is stopped when dense steam starts coming out of the basket through the sides or the smell of cooked cocoons is felt. The steamed cocoons are then seasoned by drying in the shade for at least 3 to 4 days. Bagel steaming. This is a more quicker method of steaming. A convenient sized metal bagel is used for steaming, like pressure cooker. Inside this, the cocoon basket is kept. Pressure is allowed to develop by closing with the lid. Cocoons are stifled in 10 to 15 minutes. Chamber steaming. Large-scale reeling organizations where cocoons are stored use this type. Special chambers provided with perforated steam pipes connected to supply pipe from steam boiler carry steam to the chamber. Advantage of steam stifling is that it is simple and cheap and does not involve costly equipments. The disadvantages are that it kills the pupa but does not dry it. Hence, they cannot be stored in thick layers. They have to be turned often to ensure uniform drying and to prevent fungus attack. Further prolonged exposure to hot steam also denatures sericin. Even otherwise, the sericin will be hot, swollen, and soft, and hence silk is not immediately reelable. Hot egg drying. Here, hot egg is used for killing the pupae and also to dry them to the required degree of dryness. This is practiced in Jammu and Kashmir. This equipment is costly and is used only in large reeling units. Storage of stifled cocoons. During storing, it is liable to be attacked by the beetle pest Dermis logdaris, which feeds on the fat content of the pupa. Hence, soiled cocoons must be removed carefully. Another source of cocoon loss is due to the mold or fungus attack. Cocoons must be completely dried and proper ventilation must be given. Sorting of cocoons. Though cocoons are sorted prior to the bringing them to market, some of them become defective in the process of transportation, stifling, storing, etc. And hence, once again, they have to be stored before sending them for reeling. Defective cocoons now encountered are double cocoons, crushed and strained cocoons, cocoons with flimsy shell, malformed cocoons, and insect damaged cocoons. At the same time, cocoons are also riddled. This consists of separating cocoons according to their size so that uniform sized cocoons are available for reeling. Deflossing by cocoon boiling and brushing. As the wave windings in the cocoon are held fast by the natural gum resin. It is necessary to soften the gum by putting the cocoons in hot water before unwinding the wave. The process of softening of the gum by soaking in hot water also serves on drying again to cement the assembled filaments with a twistless but firm and industrially usable thread. It also helps in separating easily by a process of brushing the entangled floss layer of the cocoon from the true end of reliable filament, making up the compact shell. This removal of floss is called deflashing or brushing. Before deflossing, cocoons must be cooked. There are two systems of cooking for the two systems of reeling. That is, top or floating system of reeling and sunken system of reeling. For top reeling, cocoons are cooked only to the extent the silk shell becomes wet but is still impervious to water so that they float in water. When the cooked cocoons are put into the reeling basin, on the other hand, in the sunken system of reeling, not only the shell is cooked, but in the process, the cocoon also gets filled with water to the extent of 97 to 98 percentage, with the result that the cocoons become heavy and sinks in the reeling water. Boiling for top reeling. Cooking is done by either open pan type or by 3-pan type cooking unit. Open pan type cooking unit. Cooking is done in open basins having a small amount of water heated directly by fire. Only a handful of cocoons can be cooked at a time, and water has to be periodically replaced. Brushing can be done simultaneously. Reeler can direct the operations personally. 3-pan type cooking unit. 3 porcelain basins are fixed in a row on a platform. Basins have water and steam connection. The cocoons are kept in a brass wire gauge cage. They are first immersed in water in the first cage having a temperature of 90 degrees Celsius to 95 degrees Celsius for 1 minute. Air in the cocoon cavity is heated and expelled. They are transferred to the second pan having a temperature of 60 degrees Celsius to 65 degrees Celsius. Air in the cocoon contracts and hot water from the basin gets sucked in. It loosens the shell layers and partially fills up the cocoon cavity. This operation lasts for 30 to 40 seconds. Then they are transferred to the third basin having water at a temperature of 90 degrees Celsius to 95 degrees Celsius. Cocoons are kept immersed by pressing down with a specially designed wire mesh disc. Hot water soaks and fills up the cavity of the cocoon. Cocoons are kept for 1 to 2 minutes in the third pan. They are transferred to cocoon receiving trough. Boiling for sunken system of reeling. The cocoons are cooked in a basin containing water at 83 degrees Celsius to 93 degrees Celsius, and the cocoons are boiled under covered conditions. The cover is then removed after a short time and boiling is continued for about 1 by 3 the predetermined time for boiling. Then the cocoons are douched in a cold water spray. Thereafter, boiling is again continued for some time under covered conditions. When the boiling has progressed for some time, heat supplied to the water is stopped and the cocoons are once more sprayed with cold water. Then the cocoons are transferred to cocoon carrier tube containing water at 40 to 45 degrees Celsius for brushing and reeling units. Cocoons are filled with water to an extent of 97% of the cavity and therefore sink in the reeling water. As cocoons are thoroughly boiled, lukewarm water is sufficient for reeling. Brushing. After the cocoons are cooked, they have to be brushed for removing the surface floss layer of cocoons. In India, floss is peeled off from each cocoon individually. In advanced countries, machines are used for this purpose. In the floating system of reeling, except three-pan system, brushing is done along with cooking. In sunken system, it is done separately. Sticks are used for this purpose in chakra system of reeling and in multi-voltine racers having much floss. Also, sticks are used for this purpose. Hard brushes made of vegetable fiber or paddy straw may be used. Mechanical brushes are available in modern reeling units called filletures. The next three steps we will see in next video. Thank you.